Good morning and welcome to today's episode of Newspaper Review on Emirate Radio. Emirate Radio is located behind the old Federal Ministry of Environment off Old Jebba Road, Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. And I am Latifah Ibrahim-Arowona. So come with me as we bring you the news daily from the Nigerian newspaper, online and offline. The newspaper we have this morning are the Punch newspaper, our online royal newspaper, the Leadership newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, Daily Post, and of course the Vanguard newspaper. So stay with us as we take you through the Nigerian dailies this morning. So on the Punch newspaper, fuel prices may fall as FEC renews Naira for crude deal. FG stops acting VCs, rectors, provosts from contesting substantive positions. And on the online royal newspaper, Niger Republic adopts Hausa as official language, destroys all French legacies. Still on the online royal newspaper, how to tackle terrorism in Nigeria, says Minister. Still on the online royal newspaper, after a while, magistrates court set to terminate Abdurrahman's case. And on the Leadership newspaper this morning, sexual harassment, 4-year governing council exonerates VC. Still on the Leadership newspaper this morning, LP crisis deepens, parties split into 3 factions. And on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 3 headless bodies discovered in Ondo River. Still on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau, says Governor Muftang. And the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Saure leads protest as Force headquarters demands Egbetokun's ouster as IG. Still on Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Nigeria begins e-visa policy implementation May 1st. And on the Daily Post newspaper this morning, perish your 2027 ambitions, APC National VC tells Atiku El-Rufai. Still on Daily Post newspaper, Gbajabia Mila missing as presidency releases names of Tinubu's appointments to dates. And on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, I left office with same fiscal assets I had before my presidency, says Buhari. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, enough of horror on the Otedola Bridge in Lagos. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, APC has no structure. It's a one-man show, says Body George. Alright, let's go on a short break and we'll take the news in full after the break. Stay with us.
The lead among all radio stations, Emirate Radio, the station of your choice. We take the lead among all radio stations.
Alright, so I'm going to take the last as a first this morning on the Vanguard newspaper. APC has no structure. It's a one-man show, says Body George. Former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Chief Bode George, has dismissed the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, as lacking any real political structure. describing it as a one-man show. The elder statesman made the statement on Wednesday during an appearance on Channel Television Morning Brief while addressing the possibility of a third political force, such as the Social Democratic Party, emerging ahead of the 2027 general elections. The APC has no structure, it's just a one-man show, he said. He emphasized that any meaningful political alternative must prioritize the people and not personal ambitions. What should come first is the people. Then our attitude to manage the resources of the country of the benefit of the people. Individualism can never solve this. Personal ambition is a very dangerous, stupid approach to problem solving. You must give in to something and must allow the freshness in the minds of the people of this country. Governance is about them. Power should be from them. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, enough of R on the Otedola Bridge in Lagos. Sir Michael Otedola ruled Lagos State as its ninth governor between 1992 and 1993. His brief statesmanship was considered momentous enough to have a popular bridge called Otedola Bridge named after him. The former governor's reign now seems to be more remembered by the bridge than whatever achievement his administration made. However, the bridge is presently known more for being a black spot, short of calling it a death spot for commuters through auto crashes that occur there regularly. Otedola Bridge has cut short many lives in contrast to the quiet life of Baba Otedola, nicknamed Baba Go Slow as the governor then. Like other big cities, Lagos have made ugly spots, but when it comes to danger zones, no spots beats Otedola Bridge notoriety. Located a few meters from the Lagos end of the boundary between Lagos and Ogun State on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the bridge has recorded several disasters and fatality that have made the ground round its blood suck. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, I left office with same fiscal assets I had before my presidency, says Buhari. Former President Muhammad Buhari has advised those in leadership positions to attach more importance to the welfare of the people than their personal welfare. The former president also said that he left office as a president with the same fiscal assets he had before his election. Speaking when he received the governors elected on the platform of All Progressive Congress APC in his Kaduna residence, Buhari advised them to adopt a citizen-centric approach, saying that leadership presents both a challenge and opportunity, and that balancing the two will significantly advance national progress. He expressed confidence in the progress being made by the Progressive Governors Forum, PGF, and reiterated his call for continued dedication to the nation's progress. He thanked the Bola Tinubu's administration for renovating his home in Kaduna, explaining that while the building looked very much the same externally, so much improvement was made inside. He thanked the governors for the visit, saying that while he had worked with several of them, some others were new to him. Speaking earlier, Chairman of the PGF, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, said that their visit was to greet the former president on the occasion of Eid al-Kabir and convey their heartfelt expression of gratitude and enduring respect for the immense contribution to Nigerian democracy and strengthening our party. Uzodinma, in a statement by former President Muhammad Buhari's aide, Malam Garba Shehu, further said, "Many of us recall with pride the principal role you play in the founding of the APC. That legacy continues to shape our party's identity direction." And on the Daily Post newspaper this morning, Gbajabiamila missing as President releases names of Tinubu's appointments to date. The presidency, through Sunday Diary, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, has provided a list of president's appointments to date as it tries to defend all lopsided appointments. In the list, Southwest has 29 appointees of the president as against 24 stated by Diary, For instance, Femi Gbajabiamila, who is one of the first appointees of the president, appointed as chief of staff on Friday, June 2nd, 2023, was not mentioned on the list. The Southeast has fewer appointments. Also, it appears as the West East, where the president comes from, has majority of the key appointments into juicy positions. Still on the Daily Post newspaper this morning, perish your 2027 ambitions. APC National VC tells Atiku and El-Rufai. The National Vice Chairman, Northwest of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), Garba Datti Muhammad, has advised the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the former Governor of Kaduna State Nasir El-Rufai to perish their ambitions for the 2027. Datti, a lawmaker who hails from Kaduna State and served as a member of the House of Representatives representing Sabon Gari Federal Constituency for 16 years, stated this in an open letter to Atiku. He said the 2023 PDP presidential candidate to perish the thought of another presidential contest and remain the statesman that he is, noting that he has been contesting for the presidency since 1993. As we approach the next general elections, you are at it again. However, this time around, having sensed that your party, the PDP, may not cede the presidential ticket to you, you are now considering joining forces with some aggrieved politicians to form a coalition to challenge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027. For you, Atiku Abubakar, our former vice president, my free-hearted advice is, in your best interest and the interest of Nigerians, it is better you drop the idea of contesting for president in 2027, by which time you will have already turned 80 years. And on our online royal newspaper, after a while, Magistrate Court set to terminate Abdurrahman's case. The murder case of Hafsa Lawal has been adjourned till April 22nd, even as it's now moved the case to High Court. Magistrate S.B. Muhammad ruled on Wednesday that the case will be transferred to High Court April 15, while the Magistrate Court will yet sit on April 22nd to terminate the case, as a criminal case will not be entertained in two courts of law. Royal newspaper report that the Magistrate Court sitting in Ilorin had approved the Department of State Services to continue to detain their defendants, who brought the defendants Abdurrahman Bello and 4 others in a heavy security. Mid-drama, however, ensued between Barrister A.S. Hosseini, the counsel to the 2nd and 4th defendants, and Barrister Isa Zakari, the chief state counsel. Barrister A.S. Hosseini argued that he had been vindicated of his assertion in the previous processing, where he requested that DSS investigation should not delay the transfer of the case to High Court. Further investigation by the DSS is becoming ad infinitum, taking till thy kingdom come. Your worship can now see my previous submissions are now playing out, jokingly stating his statement has been vindicated. Still on the online royal newspaper, Niger Republic adopts Hausa as official language, destroys all French legacies. The Niger Republic Military Administration has formally declared Hausa the country's new national language, which is a departure from its colonial past, in which French was given more prominence. The move was announced in a new charter issued on March 31st and published in a special edition of the government's official newspaper. According to the document, the national language is Hausa, and the working language are English and French. Hausa is already the most commonly spoken language across Niger, especially in the Zindir, Maradi, and Tahoe regions. Most of the country's population of about 26 million people understand and speak Hausa. In comparison, only around 3 million people, just 13%, can speak French. During the occasion, the military government got additional support, and junta head General Abdurrahman Tiani was granted permission to remain in charge for another 5 years. Since gaining power in a coup in July 2023, which deposed the country's civilian president, Mohamed Bazoum, the junta has severed ties with France. the online royal newspaper How to Tackle Terrorism in Nigeria, says Minister of Police Affairs Senator Ibrahim-Gaidam has pointed out that addressing the challenges of terrorism requires a holistic and multifaceted approach among the security agencies. He said that this during the Stakeholders Conference on Security with the theme A Path to Regional Cooperation, organized by the Ministry of Police Affairs in conjunction with the Nigerian Police Force and National Central Bureau (NCB) at the Rockville Hotels, Abuja. Gaidam stated that implementing the international standard and good practice of South modern integrated and cooperative border management will go a long way in putting an end to this threat. He urged all stakeholders present at the conference to work collaboratively towards a shared vision of security. We can overcome these challenges and emerge as a beacon of stability and progress in Africa if all hands are put on deck. And on the leadership newspaper this morning, sexual harassment, 4-year governing council exonerates VC. The governing council of the Federal University Oye-Ekiti has cleared the Vice Chancellor, Professor Abayomi Fashina, of allegations of sexual harassment against a member of staff of the institution. The university in the last few months had been embroiled in a series of controversies over the reported allegation of sexual harassment against the VC by a member of staff, Engineer Folashade Adebayo, who was the Director of Fiscal Training, Planning and Director of Works and Services. Also, the leadership of the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities, 4-year branch, was at loggerheads with the university management over some issues relating to the suspension of their leadership. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning, LP crisis deepens, party splits into 3 factions. The Labour Party has split into 3 factions, with each faction claiming leadership and structures of the party, which came third in the 2023 general election. The trio of Julius Abure, Senator Nenadi Usman and Lamidi Papa are claiming to be the national leaders of the party. The situation has taken a critical dimension following the recent Supreme Court judgment that sets aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja recognized Abure as the party's national chairman. In a unanimous judgment last week delivered by a 5-member panel, the Apex Court held that the Court of Appeal lacked the jurisdiction to have announced Abure the national chairman of the LP, having earlier found that the substance of the case was about the party's leadership. After the judgment, the National Working Committee of the Labour Party, believed to be loyal to Abure, said he remained the party's national chairman despite the Supreme Court's ruling. And on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 3 headless bodies discovered in Ondo River. Residents of Odigbo local government area of Ondo State have been left in shock following the discovery of 3 headless bodies floating in a river along the old Odigbo-Ore Road. Decomposing bodies were found by locals on Sunday lodged against the riverbanks communities. Sources suspect the victims may have been killed by armed assailants before being dumped in the river. A former youth leader, Mr. Shiliola, who visited the scene, said the victims remain unidentified. I rushed the scene after receiving a call early in the morning. I tried to identify the victims by their clothing, but we couldn't recognize any of them. We suspect they were kidnapped and later killed, he told newsmen. Ondo State Police Public Relations Officer Anyalade Olayinka Olushola confirmed the incident, stating that it was reported by residents. He said the divisional police officer from the Ore division recovered the corpses and transferred them to the mortuary at the General Hospital. He added that the police have summoned community leaders and stakeholders to assist in identifying the body. So far, no reports of missing persons have been filed and none of the bodies have been identified, Olushola said. He explained that the river's location borders Ogun and Edo states, suggesting that the crime may not have been may not have occurred within the Ondo state. Still on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau, says Governor Mutfwang. Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State has raised alarm over the high wave of insecurity, lamenting that the bandits have taken over 64 communities in the state. Speaking during an interview on Channel Television's Politics Today, Mutfwang blamed on unnamed terrorist group for wreaking havoc in Plateau. He also added that the attacks were sponsored by yet-to-be-identified individuals. I can tell you in all honesty that I cannot find any explanation other than genocide sponsored by terrorists, the governor said. The question is, who are the persons behind the organizers of this terrorism? This is what the security agency must help us to unravel. We must come to a point where we know the sponsors, because it is not just the work of ordinary people. This is being sponsored from somewhere. The communities that have been recently attacked were part of the communities that were attacked in 2023, but they survived it and rebuilt themselves. The Rowi community that was first attacked lost about 17 people in 2023, but they bounced back to show you the resilience of the people. If those attacks have been going on for close to 10 years, it tells you that there is a deliberate, conscious attempt to clean out populations and to reopen. Still on Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Nigeria begins e-visa policy implementation May 1st. The federal government has announced that the implementation of its new electronic visa e-visa system will commence on May 1st, 2025. The Minister of Interior Tunji Ojo and his aviation and aerospace development counterpart Festus Kayamo disclosed this on Wednesday in Abuja during a meeting on implementation and enforcement of immigration protocols. An electronic visa is a digital form of visa that allows travelers to obtain travel authorization online without the need for physical visits to an embassy or consulate. It simplifies the visa application process, making it more convenient and faster. Travelers typically fill out an online application form, upload required documents like a passport, pay the visa fee, and receive the e-visa via mail. The visa is then either printed or stored digitally for presentation upon entry into the destination country. E-visas are issued by many countries and are generally issued for purposes like tourism, business, or transit. They streamline the travel experience by reducing paperwork and wait times. Tunji Ojo said there is a centralized visa approval center already at the immigration headquarters. Officers have been trained, well-equipped, and solution integrated to all criminal record systems in the world, the major ones in the world, as well as Interpol, and of course there will be better background checks in time of people coming into Nigeria. And on the Punch newspaper this morning, FG stops acting VCs, rectors, provosts from contesting substantive positions. Following recent crises which trailed appointments of institutional heads in certain public universities and other tertiary institutions nationwide, the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa Anchauzi, approved the implementation of the guiding policy on eligibility for the appointments of vice-chancellors, rectors, and provosts. The policy, which was announced by the Director of Press, Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Bariowo, on Thursday morning, was said to have become necessary following a pattern of undue advantage observed over the years, where officers serving in acting capacities often leverage their position to influence appointment outcomes, thereby compromising the fairness and transparency of the selection process. The statement noted that the new policy aims to eliminate this practice, ensure a level of playing field for all qualified candidates, and strengthen institutional governance. And lastly, on this morning's newspaper review, we have the fuel prices may fall as FEC renews naira for crude oil. Oil marketers have stated that Nigeria will soon have a sign of relief as the pump price of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, will drastically reduce due to the continuation of crude and refined product sales in the Naira initiative by the federal government. They also stated that a major player in the sector, Dangote Refinery, is anticipated to lower its petrol loading cost by the end of this week, further contributing to the reduction in fuel prices. The National Policy Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Udadike, reassured the public of the forthcoming price drop while commenting on the Federal Executive Council's directive regarding the Naira for crude agreement announcement on Wednesday. The official, however, couldn't project the expected amount as the price at which the government will sell its products remain unclear. This was as the National Publicity Secretary of Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria, H.A. Idoko, emphasized the need for greater involvement of other local refineries in the initiative, stressing that broader anticipation will enhance the economic benefits and strengthen the impacts of the deal. And that brings us to the end of newspaper review this morning on our Emirate Radio. Don't forget that if you cannot do great things, I can do small things in a greater way. So have a great day and continue to listen to Emirate Radio. If you want to listen to any of those dailies, you can pick them online or offline and read them. I am Latifah Ibrahim-Arowona. Have a great day.